With just 1 month to go in the regular season, there are 3 unbeatens in the Big East. At the top of the list, the UConn Huskies, the 2-time defending national champions with the nation's best player, Maya Moore. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights have won 5 in a row, and they're led by a high-octane backcourt and a powerful duo up front. It's a battle for Big East bragging rights. Next on Verizon Fios 1 Sports. From the Lewis Brown Athletic Center in Piscataway, New Jersey, Verizon Fios 1 Sports presents Rutgers women's basketball. Tonight, the Scarlet Knights, with 12 wins and a 5-0 start in Big East play, welcome the champs, the number 2 team in the country, the Huskies of Connecticut. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ed Cohn. We have a great matchup tonight. We'd like to welcome all of our viewers from New Jersey, Long Island, and the Potomac region here on Verizon Fios 1 Sports. Hey, there's bad weather as well, and we'll have advisories throughout the broadcast here tonight. It's a pleasure to be joined by the former Stanford Cardinal. She is Christina Battistini. Stanford beat UConn to end their 90-game winning streak back in late December. Huskies have pulled off a pedestrian 6-game win streak since. Meanwhile, Rutgers playing its best basketball this season.
I think that loss versus Stanford really destabilized UConn, but in their last game versus North Carolina, that swagger and confidence was back. And let's not forget, Rutgers has coming into this game with 6 losses on the season, but they're much better than that. They're playing some great basketball. And remember, 2 years ago, Rutgers was the last team to beat UConn in the Big East.
Certainly a game Rutgers will never forget. The fact is the Huskies are younger this time around. There's one constant, the senior Maya Moore.
Well, Maya Moore is the perfect combination of efficiency and versatility. She can shoot the 3. They're also asking her to play down low and post up within their offense, and I think she learned a lot of things in that Stanford loss. She learned how to move without the basketball better, and she learned how to use the entire court to generate some offense.
UConn's all-time leading scorer, a 2-time Wade Trophy winner, as the nation's best player, the senior Maya Moore. As for Rutgers, well, their better play as of late has been the result of great post play. We're talking about a sophomore and a junior, Mo Oliver and Chelsea Lee.
And you're right, that's a huge change for Rutgers. Normally they're a backcourt team, but this front court has been clicking on all cylinders. The combination of Oliver and Lee, they are true post partners. They look for each other in that high-low set, and their skills are interchangeable. It makes them so difficult to guard. They both run in transition. They crash the O boards. They can face up and play back to the basket.
Monique Oliver averaging 19 points per game in Big East play. How about the recent play of Chelsea Lee? She has recorded 3 consecutive double-doubles leading up to this game against number 2 Connecticut. Scarlet Knights are 8-0 at home here at the Rack. The Huskies have won 57 consecutive Big East games. We'll see which team prevails tonight. We'll have the starters and the tip here on Verizon Fios 1 Sports. This building always buzzes when the Huskies come to town, and it's buzzing right now as the Scarlet Knights and UConn meet for a 32nd time. Let's meet the Huskies, 18-1 of the season, 7-0 start in Big East play, and they're anchored by 3 guards. 5'10" junior Tiffany Hayes averaging 15 points per ball game, along with Rhea Hartley and Kelly Farris. Up front for the Huskies, we mentioned Maya Moore, the 6-foot senior, 24 points per ball game. And Stephanie Dolson, the 6'5" freshman, who's a great field goal shooter, 65% from the field for Stephanie Dolson there to your right. As for Rutgers, 12-6 on the season, 5-0 in the Big East. And their backcourt, you have Rushdan, Wheeler, and Sykes, and then Mo Oliver and Chelsea Lee. Those 2 we highlighted earlier. And they're going to be key against Gino Auriemma's Huskies. Gino Auriemma, 26 seasons at the helm, inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame in 2006. C. Vivian Stringer went into the Hall in 2009, part of a great class with Michael Jordan and Jerry Sloan, John Stockton as well. And there she is. This is a high-powered coaching matchup here in Piscataway.
Oh, there's no question. And I think when you talk about the Big East and what it means to play in the Big East, and everyone's talked about the UConn record, Rutgers is right there in the mix. People talk about the Stanford loss so much, but Rutgers is the team that last beat UConn in the Big East, and I believe UConn's gone 57 straight games without losing a Big East matchup. And Rutgers was the last team to beat him on this court. So I think this is a very high-powered game.
February 5th of 2008, 73-71, Rutgers victorious over UConn. Huskies had a double-digit lead. Let's see what transpires here in late January. So much time to go in the season, and yet it's a early Big East matchup. And right away, Maya Moore with the early miss. Let's see if Rutgers can capitalize.
Well, interestingly enough, it looked like Rutgers opened up in a 2-3 matchup zone. Traditionally, they play man-to-man, but they're showing a little bit different look tonight versus UConn.
They go to Mo Oliver, and it was a good idea, just a little tougher pass to handle.
And that's something that Rutgers really talked about in going into this game against UConn. They need to limit their turnovers. They had 17 turnovers versus a weaker Providence team, and they know they can't be lackadaisical with their passes against a very strong defensive UConn team.
Well, Tiffany Hayes and Payne, they say Wheeler got a piece of her. And Wheeler said, I didn't see the foul. Nonetheless, so whistle here, and maybe they won't call a foul as they look at Tiffany Hayes.
It looked like it was an inadvertent possible poke in the eye, but it's certainly affecting her. She went down pretty hard. And she just catches the ball on the left wing and squares up, and number 3 kind of gets her in the face with a little swipe. It's obviously unintentional, kind of going for the ball and then recovering back, and definitely that's an eye or nose injury.
That's the athletic trainer for UConn, Rosemary Regal, taking a look at Tiffany Hayes. Well, what are the keys here tonight in your mind for both teams?
Well, I think for UConn, they're playing with such a short bench, 6 to 7 players. They cannot allow themselves to get into foul trouble. And assistant coach Chris Daly said, you know the referee is going to make one bad call. You yourself can't make a foolish foul and get yourself into foul trouble. Secondly, they've got to rebound and box out. They're concerned about a very athletic Rutgers team. They don't want to give them second and third shots. UConn has a huge rebounding advantage over all their opponents. They out-rebound them 15 more rebounds per game, so they want to continue that. And for Rutgers, again, they want to consistently rebound. Lee and Oliver have to have good games and really use their size. They've been out-rebounded in 10 of their 18 games this year. And I think they've got to protect the ball and limit turnovers. You saw them on their first possession. They turned it over on a simple post entry.
Those are our Verizon 411 keys to the game. And for now, UConn's going to have to find a way to get by without Tiffany Hayes. And against great Rutgers defense. Turnover leads to a 3-on-2 break, and Sykes able to finish.
Well, I just like the defensive changeup by Rutgers, trapping out of a matchup zone, and I think they caught UConn off guard, and April Sykes made a nice finish to the basket, slashing in between 2 defenders.
UConn trying to go inside to Dolson, and as it got there, foul called on Monique Oliver, so that's her first and already the second on the Scarlet Knights. Here's a good thing for Rutgers. They're 9-0 when scoring first. I guess they like that mark now.
Absolutely. 9-0. I mean, how many teams really score first against UConn?
Maya Moore catch and shoot. She's up for 2 to start, and Mo Oliver there for the big box out.
It's almost like deja vu. I watched their shoot around today, and they worked really hard, coming strong to the ball, squaring up, setting their feet, and shooting it from the wing. And Maya Moore, the entire shoot around, what was so impressive about her, she went game pace. I mean, a lot of teams just go through the motions, game pace. Now that last shot she didn't make, but at least today for an hour and a half, she practiced it at game pace.
You've seen a lot of great players. How many shoot as quickly as Maya Moore does?
I don't think any. And I think that's what makes her so special. I mean, there's a reason why she leads Division I in all-time scoring. And
Oliver called for traveling right there.
Again, we're going back to the turnovers. Those are 2 unforced turnovers by Rutgers. I don't think the UConn defense really had anything to do with that first entry pass and the fact that Oliver just shuffled her feet.
Far shot, it's Kelly Ferris. Moore good without the basketball. Misses another shot. She's 0 for 3 from the field, and Rutgers trying to capitalize once again.
And I think they're switching up their defense. That looked like a sagging man-to-man.
Chelsea Lee into the paint, had a nice look. That's because she took a step and traveled.
I kind of like that move. I agree with the fans. It was 2 steps, but you see that all the time now. You really only allowed 1.5 steps on the offensive end, but that's kind of become a passé part of basketball. She took 2 hard steps and got to the rim.
Oliver recovers to block. Hartley going up. Monique Oliver among the best shot blockers in the conference. Dolson missing off glass. Another chance for UConn after the offensive board by Maya Moore. Great head fake. Hardly going reverse for two.
That's just a tremendous heads-up play. I know she's a freshman, but she's played a lot of minutes. I don't think she would have done that early on in the season. She had the poise to take it baseline, finish with her left hand, keep her eyes up. Her basketball IQ is growing in every single game.
Rutgers has turned it over 3 times. Thus, they've taken one shot and hit it. Wheeler unable to hit their second shot. Rushdan keeps it in bounds for a new shot clock. UConn has opened the game 1 for 6. Rushdan to the basket. Tough angle, couldn't finish. And out comes Harley for UConn. Got to find more. Wide open for 2.
And I credit Kelly Farris for that play. I know Maya Moore hit the shot, but she's the one that had the rebound and made a very quick outlet to Bria Hartley, and that's what allowed UConn to get into offensive transition.
Huskies might be 2 for 7 from the field, but they're also up by 2 points here with 3.5 gone by. Chelsea Lee draws the double. Rushdan try the pull-up. And nobody there to rebound except UConn players, and out comes Hartley off the miss. Kelly Farris in the lane, went right at Monique Oliver. That's not an easy task, and a call that has everybody up in arms here in Piscataway.
Well, obviously we have a very partial crowd, and that's a tough call, because I think Farris was going in there. She really didn't have numbers. She really didn't have ball control. But anytime you take it hard to the basket in women's basketball, you lower the shoulder and you go hard to the rim, chances are you're going to come up with a foul call. And in the defense of UConn, if the Rutgers team really wanted the call, they could have slid in and taken that offensive foul. They could have rotated over, which they didn't.
Well, the good news is, even though Monique Oliver was involved in the play, the foul went against Rushdan. That's her first. Oliver has already committed one. Third team foul on Rutgers. Second chance for Farris. Can't hit either of them. And there might have been a lane violation, and it's on Rutgers, so Farris is going to have a third opportunity here at the line.
Well, she's a 74% free throw shooter, so I doubt she's going to go 0 for 3.
Well, you hit it.
UConn showing a little 2-2-1 right now.
See what Rutgers can do against the full court pressure, and that's a pass Chelsea Lee most likely wants to have back.
Yeah, if she could have that back, she'd definitely take that one back. Rutgers, I mean, that's the way you break it 2-2-1. You get the ball to the middle and you reverse the basketball. But Chelsea Lee just put a lot on that reverse pass. And, you know, the 2-2-1 isn't designed to turn teams over. It's really designed to take time off the clock, make teams uncomfortable within their half-court set. But UConn is so long and athletic, they turn people over even in a soft press.
Inside Oliver, what a look by Rushdan, and that's their bread and butter right there.
It's a defensive breakdown by UConn, but great job of moving the basketball by Rutgers.
Moore trying to answer, and she does in traffic. Maya Moore taking all comers down that drive.
How about that combo move? She had 3 players in the paint and was still able to spin around and shoot over the top.
4 points for Maya Moore. Oliver didn't get the bounce. Lauren Dixon, who came in for Hayes after she was nicked in the eye, leads Hartley. Great rebounding and communication there by a pair of high school teammates. Erica Wheeler, number 3 for Rutgers, and Chelsea Lee, number 52, both attending Parkway Academy in Miami, Florida. Scarlet Knights thus far, just 2 of 6 in the field. The big number so far, 4 turnovers. April Sykes, she's feeling it, and they'll give her the 3.
And she looks very confident when she pulled up for that shot. Had her feet set, hips were down, and she locked and loaded.
Maya Moore slipped by everybody for 2.
And we talked about that in the open, how versatile she is and how efficient she is. She's not even breathing heavy. We've seen her hit an outside shot. We've seen her post up. We've seen her drive it. It's just amazing, all the different spots on the court she's learned how to score from.
Maya Moore missing her first 3 shots. She's 3 for her last 4. She has UConn up by 2. Shot clock coming down for Rutgers. Mo Oliver looking for help with 2 to shoot. Oliver with 1 to shoot, throws it up, and that's not her shot.
No, definitely not her shot, but at least she had the presence of mind to get the shot off before the shot clock.
Let's head back to the Verizon Fios One newsroom for a weather update with Megan Vega and John Heyman. Want to help your school or any 501c nonprofit raise funds easily with no direct selling? Enroll them in the Verizon Velocity fundraising program, and Verizon will make donations when supporters order new qualifying Verizon products. Nonprofits can receive up to $65 for every new Verizon Triple Play order, which can add up pretty fast. Learn more by visiting www.verizon.com/velocity. UConn has opened the game 4 of 11. Maya Moore with 6 points, and she's really come on the last couple of minutes, Christina.
And what she's done so well in this game is she has established herself on the low block, and she's also run it in transition. You see her there running and catching it in transition. Here she is with the little shot fake, takes it hard middle and finishes it in between 3 Rutgers defenders.
Rhea Hardley trying for the corner 3-pointer. And on the weak side, a loose ball foul called against Kelly Ferris. That's her first, and also the first for the Huskies.
Well, and that's good news for the Huskies this far into the ball game. Only having 1 foul, that's one thing they talked about coming into this game. They said we cannot get ourselves into foul trouble. They really are only playing 6 or 7 players. They barely have enough to scrimmage in practice. They use managers in order to go 5-on-5.
Scarlet Knights have opened 3 of 7. 5 turnovers has really hurt. Erica Wheeler off the dribble. Just missed getting it all the way down. Lauren Dixon leads the UConn break. Dixon, the senior point guard. Adam Price, the king, a powerhouse in Queens. They isolate Dolson, and Oliver says, not this time. Which way's it going? Back to Rutgers.
Oh, that was a great block by Monique Oliver. She comes in, averages 2.6 blocks per game, and you can see why. She just sat on the left shoulder and kept that left hand up and just put it right back in Dolson's face. And she's just a little bit quicker defensively than Dolson was on the offensive end.
I think the Scarlet Knights are ready tonight.
I would say yes, and it's a resounding yes, because in talking to everybody involved with Rutgers basketball, the one thing they kept saying was, our kids have no fear of UConn.
Sykes has no fear from 3. Second triple for the junior, already with 8 points, and the Scarlet Knights are back up by 1.
And it's not like she's wide open. She's shooting that ball over offensive players, but her stroke is so confident right now, it doesn't matter to her whether there's a defender in her face or not. She's going to pull from 3.
Dixon's drive gives UConn the lead, then the steal and layup gives UConn a 3-point lead. Great energy by Lauren Dixon, and C. Vivian Stringer calls for time.
And I think this is a wise timeout, because on two of their turnovers have come against this 2-2-1 press, and you see that there. The cross-court pass, you can't make a cross-court pass against a 2-2-1. You got to get the ball into the middle, and then you can reverse it to the opposite side. But those long passes against the 2-2-1, and UConn is just so athletic, they're going to get to those spots, and I think that's probably that Coach Stringer's talking about.
Scarlet Knights coming off a win on Saturday against Providence by 21 points. In that game, they got 15 each from Mo Oliver and Chelsea Lee. And in that game, they pressed a little more than they have this season. And UConn wouldn't be surprised if Rutgers presses again here tonight. Well, so much firepower on the benches. See Vivian Stringer, 3rd coach in history with 850 wins. Won her 850th game here on December 15th against Kane. And then Gino Auriemma, 753 wins, an 859 win percentage. 7 national titles, and the coach you played for at Stanford, Tara Vanderveer, also on that list.
I saw her name on there and had a chance to watch Coach Auriemma coach his kids today, and I just think he's fantastic. I like his demeanor. He's never negative, but he's tough, and he uses sarcasm in such a good way to get his kids to understand what he wants.
UConn's second turnover gives it back to Rutgers. Scarlet Knights and April Sykes hanging tough here on Verizon Fios One Sports. Welcome back to Piscataway, where the band is on its A game tonight. Scarlet Knights trail the UConn Huskies 13-10. Enroll in the Verizon Share the Network program, and you and every person you refer to Verizon can get up to $50 apiece, so everybody wins. Earn up to $600 in rewards a year. Earn reward cards good at hundreds of top-name retailers where American Express cards are welcome. Enroll today at sharethenetwork.com/7. Ed Cohen and Christina Battistini with you, and April Sykes really heating it up from three.
She's done a great job. She's 3 for 3 from the field, has 8 points, and you see on the catch, she lowers her head, and that means the defense puts their arms down, and once those arms are down, she goes right over the top and hits the 3.
Sykes shooting it at 39% from 3. She wants another one, and she's got it.
She is so on right now. You can almost feel it. Like, it's a tangible hotness. Every time she catches the basketball, she's looking to shoot it.
11 points for Sykes. 15th game in double figures. She scored 12 here on Saturday against Providence. Tiffany Hayes back in the ball game. She wants to get to the basket. Rebound tipped out to Wheeler. And the sophomore from Florida glides into the front court, and then she'll let the veteran Khadijah Rushdan set up the offense. Rushdan, the fourth-year junior, had to redshirt as a freshman. Sykes on the pull-up from two-point range. Brianna Hutchin was there for the rebound, but there's a reason that she was able to get to it. Chelsea Lee called for the over-the-back foul.
Well, Rutgers does a super job of going after the offensive rebounds. They are relentless, and that's what UConn was really concerned about coming into this game. They said, you know, Rutgers doesn't necessarily score a lot of points. They're averaging about 64, 65 points per game. And they don't hurt you on their first shot, but they hurt you on their second and third shots, and that's what UConn really wanted to contain.
Tie ball game nearly halfway through the first half. Tiffany Hayes left in the game's first minute after Erica Wheeler got a piece of her eye. Great closeout there by Khadijah Rushdan, forcing Moore into traveling.
I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of different defenses. I'm not sure what Rutgers is doing defensively. It's a zone. They're switching everything. There's a lot of movement. And I think UConn is confused. And that last turnover, which was UConn's third, that was just a product of not having any idea what Rutgers was in defensively.
Third UConn turnover. Scarlet Knights trying to capitalize right now. Sykes has led the way with 11 of their 13 points, coming on 3 three-pointers. Monique Oliver eludes the double, finding Rushdan. Shot clock down to 3 seconds. Great look to Oliver. Easy finish for the sophomore.
Well, that was a sweet shuffle pass underneath to a wide-open Oliver.
Khadijah Rushdan with her 4th assist already. And the Scarlet Knights, halfway through the first half, lead it by 2. So important to get ahead against UConn and get the crowd into it. Moore, she'll draw the foul and take him at the line. This is a veteran setting up the hottest player on the team right now.
Well, what happened in this play, Lauren Dixon from UConn double-teamed and allowed the easy outside pass, and then you just saw the great shuffle pass underneath to Monique Oliver, but UConn trying to double Rutgers post players, and they ended up getting burned when they took that chance.
Moore shoots it at an 88% clip. Brianna Hutchins coming back in. And Chelsea Lee will exit after picking up her second foul. Stephanie Dolson's a player for UConn that needs to be careful of foul trouble, but on the flip side, Lee and Oliver need to stay out there for Rutgers.
Both of these teams have extremely short benches, and the combination of Oliver and Lee, that's really been the engine that has driven this Rutgers team, and when one of them is out, it's a different offense for them.
Moore's miss. UConn gets it again. They work it high-low with Dolson. Good close out there by Rushdan. It'll stay with UConn. Both coaches emphasize not allowing second chances. And for Rutgers, that means owning the glass now with Lee on the bench.
That's going to be a tough thing to do. Lee at 6'2" is one of their biggest players and one of their best rebounders. You see it here, Kelly Farris getting an offensive rebound.
Brianna Hutchin ripped it down, and then she was ripped from behind by Tiffany Hayes, who didn't give up on the play. First on Hayes, second on UConn. Now, Hutchin doesn't get a lot of playing time early in games, but she's really needed now, and she stepped up with that rebound.
Yes, she did. She came in the game, and that when you're a coach and you can bring in kids from the bench that maintain the same intensity and the same ability to rebound the basketball, that's huge when you can have confidence in your bench.
Rushdan, power move. And Dolson there to rip it away, and now Moore and the Huskies have a little break on. Freshman Hartley. Hutchins saying not this time, and knocks it out of bounds.
Great defense by Hutchins, but I like Hartley's decision. She had a 2-on-2 and decided to take it to the hoop.
Hayes eludes a triple, and Moore's open as a result, and Moore dials in.
Can't give her that much time. She had a good 2 or 3 seconds to set her feet and spot up.
UConn retakes the 2-point lead. Maya Moore with 9 points thus far here at Piscataway. But if you're Rutgers, is this the start you were hoping for?
There's no question. This is exactly what they wanted. What happens so many times when you play UConn, you get down early. And then you lose your confidence and you lose the belief in yourself that you can stay with this team. The fact that Rutgers is with them and making huge plays, an extra pass down low and finishing layups, I think it's their dream start to this game.
And the dream start continues. Tied at 17. Could be going the other way, and it is. It's a foul on Dolson inside. That only her first. It's UConn's third.
And every single time the ball goes down low, if a UConn player is on the block and they get the basketball, Rutgers is double, tripling teaming, and vice versa. UConn is double, tripling teaming. So it's an interesting dynamic. Both teams are really trying to take away the postgame.
April Sykes has had the hot hand, 4 of 5 shooting. She'll get to Rushdan, who almost got it to go down. Rhea Hartley sets up UConn. Parrish trying to find Dolson. A good thought, but Dolson was then doubled, and out of bounds it goes back to the Scarlet Knights. Tied at 17 here in New Jersey. Back to the Verizon Fios 1 newsroom for a weather update with Megan and John. Fans here at the rack have loved the Scarlet Knights start, tied with number 2 UConn at 17 and under 8 to go in the opening half. Have you heard of the new Visual 411 widget? It's a free search app on Fios TV that provides you with the name, address, and phone number of the business you're looking for. You can even use the Verizon Navigator to get directions. You can access the widget by clicking on the widget button on your Fios TV remote control and scrolling down and selecting the V411 application. Ed Cohen and Christina Battistini with you, and Rutgers defense forcing a number of turnovers.
You see Kelly Farris, she caught the ball on the wing, and she had a lot of space and a lot of time to shoot the 3, but it was off the first pass, and I think that's a shot she would have taken prior to the Stanford game. But after that game, they really preached moving the basketball, not taking early shots, so she caught it, and instead of shooting it, looked down low and made that errant pass. 5
UConn turnovers, 7 giveaways by Rutgers. Scarlet Knights going to Rushdan. Isolated with Dixon. And they'll say no deflection. Back to UConn. Now Rushdan at 5'9" against Dixon, 5'4", and that's a power guard for C. Vivian Stringer.
That's absolutely a power guard, and it's almost a mismatch. I mean, they're both guards, but a 5'9" strong body guard going against a 5'4" more wispy guard. It's almost like a center going against a point guard.
UConn trying to break the tie, won't do it with their 6th turnover. Harley trying to find Dolson. Glad you're with us here on Verizon Fios 1 Sports, our presentation of Rutgers women's basketball. Scarlet Knights and number 2 UConn tied at 17 here at the rack. Ed Cohen and the former Stanford standout, Christina Battistini with you. And we'd like to welcome our viewers on Verizon Fios 1 in New Jersey, Long Island, and the nation's capital region. And we also welcome our viewers in Connecticut on CPTV. Laura Dixon has provided a lot of good energy off the bench for UConn. 4 points, back-to-back buckets, including a steal and putback earlier. How about the hands from Mo Oliver, forcing another UConn giveaway?
The last 3 UConn turnovers have been on post-entry passes. They're forcing the ball down low, and Rutgers is getting a nice jump on those passes.
April Sykes, red hot so far. 11 points, 3 of 3 from 3. She'll drive this time, and without using the glass, unable to get the roll. Bria Hartley, the freshman from North Babylon, New York, leads the UConn break, and now Tiffany Hayes up top, looking for a teammate. Dixon sees some room. Dolson trailing the play. Dolson to the free throw line, fouled by Rushdan.
And I like that penetration by Lauren Dixon. Rutgers is sitting back in a 2-3 matchup zone. And a matchup zone is almost like a man-to-man. So you got to drive it against them. She saw the gap, gets it right into the middle, and kicks it to Stephanie Dolson. I think a lot of teams when they see zone, they think pass around the perimeter. But when they're matching up and they're playing as aggressively as Rutgers, I think you got to put the ball on the ground and try to attack the paint.
Even if Dolson doesn't hit, great at the foul line, 90% shooter, and she drains them both. She's now 29 for 32 from the stripe in her freshman season. She's from Port Jervis, New York, Minising Valley High School.
They really like her skill set. I mean, they think they got to work on her athleticism or quickness a little bit, but she is a highly skilled post player, and they're really excited about her future.
Rushdan, no look, had an open look, then came down with it, and in doing so, she's called for traveling. Seems like Rutgers is trying to establish Sykes, and when she's not open, they have to go to other players.
They're definitely trying to establish Sykes. She's leading the team in scoring right now. She's a tough matchup for a UConn guard to try to defend.
9th Rutgers turnover. Huskies took the 2-point lead on the free throws from Dolson. Hartley unable to add to it. Dolson fighting for the board, but Oliver finally rips it away, and Rutgers had an initial break going. Sykes had to come back to collect. Wheeler so quick and good off the dribble. She'll fire over Hayes. Way too strong, and more outlets for UConn. Hayes wants it. Too strong from 3. Dolson, such a force inside. Arms locked with Sykes, and they're going to get Sykes for this one.
Did you see the strength that Dolson just had with the basketball? As she caught the ball, she literally cuffed it with one arm, had her other arm tangled up, and was still able to turn to the basket and finish the shot. That almost should have been an and one. You see her here get the offensive rebound. The right arm is hooked, and she's able to spin around and finish. I mean, that's absurd strength coming from a freshman.
Dolson knocks down the front end of a 1-and-1. That was the 7th Rutgers team foul. First on April Sykes. And it was funny watching April. She just had her arms straight up, but Dolson overpowered her.
A lot of times that happens in the post. Your arms get tangled and you don't intend it to happen, but the freshman wasn't going to. She didn't like getting all tangled up.
3-point UConn lead and another offensive rebound. Maya Moore was falling to the ground and let the ball get away from her to avoid traveling. Dolson on the catch and fire. Another offensive board for UConn, and this is really becoming a problem for Rutgers.
And it's problematic because they're in a zone, and they're trying to match up out of it, but they're not always matched. So when UConn takes a shot, bodies aren't matched up to box out.
Another offensive count for the Huskies. They're 1 of 6 from 3, but they're getting second chances. And Moore on the run, unable to finish there. Dolson came through late, and that's a big one. That's her second. And the UConn coaches talk so much about Dolson needing to avoid foul trouble.
How long do you think that last possession was?
Too long for Rutgers' sake.
Absolutely, but credit UConn going after the basketball. A lot of those long shots were long rebounds, but Rutgers just kind of flat-footed sitting back in that zone.
10 offensive boards for the Huskies. Scarlet Knights with 2. Rushdan has been very active on the offensive end, given the defense on Sykes and Oliver. Rushdan bumped, fires, couldn't finish. Now April Sykes is in a lot of pain right there at midcourt. We'll keep an eye on April Sykes as the Scarlet Knights are within 3. High-powered game so far against the UConn Huskies, winners of 96 of 97. Back to Jersey in a moment. Scarlet Knights within 3 against UConn, a low-scoring start for the Huskies. April Sykes has been the star for Rutgers, 11 points, but let's take a look at what happened before the official timeout here, Christina.
Well, she's already wearing an arm sleeve on that right arm, and I think she hyperextended the right elbow when she went down. You can see her, she's grabbing, she's kind of making a fist with that right hand. She's got a sleeve on the right shoulder. But when she hits the ground, it looks like she must have jolted that entire right side of her body.
At the free throw line is Khadijah Rushdan, and she's too strong in the first. 78% from the line this season. As a sophomore, she shot it at 68%. So getting better and better at the line. And she'll take a 1 of 2 trip to make it a 2-point ball game.
And here Rutgers is going to show some full court pressure for the first time tonight. And this is just a simple diamond 1-2-2 3/4 court zone press.
Stephanie Dolson remains out there, number 31 for UConn, even with the 2 fouls. Much different team UConn is. They played 3 games now without Samari Walker, one of their post players who has since transferred to Kentucky. Shot clock at 3 seconds. Hayes sees it. She fires, and she beats the clock. Tiffany Hayes, such a good 3-point shooter.
Nice heads-up play. I love what UConn just did on the offensive end. Instead of playing a zone offense versus Rutgers 2-3 matchup, they came down the court and they ran their man-to-man offense, which a lot more movement, a lot more screens, a lot more cuts, and I think that's going to help them if they stay in a man offense.
Brianna Hutchin has not hit many mid-range jumpers this season. The freshman stepping up on a big stage, knocks it down to make it a 1-possession game again. UConn has scored 10 of the last 15 points. Hayes hit the last 3. She'll now take Wheeler off the dribble and throws it up in traffic and somehow found the opening.
Wow, that's a big-time move. She sliced through the lane with her left hand and just right through 2 or 3 Rutgers defenders. Excellent finish.
Lowest first half scoring for UConn this season came in their loss to Stanford back on December 30th. They scored 30 before the halftime started. Rushdan wants a screen from Hutchin. Good defense by Maya Moore. Rushdan trips, and they'll call Moore for getting her foot in there. That's the 6th team foul on UConn, and it goes against the star senior, Maya Moore.
I think Maya Moore played solid defense on that possession. Rushdan just dribbling in place, using a lot of fancy moves, tries to spin back. Spins right into Maya Moore's chest, not a lot of contact. More of a fall down, no call, if you ask me.
Rutgers with another chance, and Oliver takes advantage of what was the call, and Rutgers back within 3.
That's what you do. You just bounce back from bad calls. And Rutgers, so far in this game, anytime something bad has happened, they've come back and have made a positive play. And that's how you stay in games against UConn. You don't string together bad play after bad play.
Lauren Dixon trying to create some space. Hayes wants it wide open. Look this time. Dolson in midair. 2 chances. And Wheeler ignites the Rutgers break after Dolson was that close. Look at Oliver running the paint. And sometimes the rolls just don't go your way.
Unbelievable. She didn't finish that, but what great athleticism, even to catch the ball.
Coming up on the final minute of the first half. Rutgers has been alive from the start. Down 3 right now. Bria Hartley steps into it. Weak side, it's Rushdan boxing out Dolson. How about that?
That would have been a huge 3 and Hartley hit that. I think it's real important for Rutgers to go in the half within 5 points.
Charge against Erica Wheeler. Second foul on the Rutgers sophomore. Coming up at the half, we'll hear from the former Rutgers star and now assistant who saw some time in the WNBA. That's Chelsea Newton. We'll go back to the newsroom and get the latest on the weather engulfing this tri-state area. And we'll also go around the Big East And of course, we'll talk about a pair of teams that, for now at least, are undefeated in conference play. Scarlet Knights 5-0 against Big East foes. UConn a 7-0 start in conference.
It's a big defensive stand for Rutgers right here.
Heather Buck seeing her first time for UConn. Moore wanted the foul, won't get it, and UConn gives it right back.
That's excellent collapsing defense by April Sykes. She saw that Maya Moore was driving it hard down the lane, and she shifted over. A lot of contact, but Maya Moore throws it away, and Rutgers is going to have a chance to get this lead to cut it to 1 or none right now. This is exactly what they want going into the half.
They can hold for 1. Final 10 seconds. Deja Simmons, freshman from Jersey City, seeing some time. Wheeler gives it up. Moore with 2 seconds to go. At the buzzer. Won't go. 20 minutes in the books, and Rutgers did everything they could to stay with the Huskies, and stay with them they did.
They certainly did. They did a super job, and I think if you have to pinpoint one thing they did well, I got to go with their defense. That matchup 2-3 zone confounded the UConn offense for the entire 20 minutes of that first half, limiting them to 25 points.
UConn shot it at 28%, at a season low for the first half. And right now, Rutgers on the doorstep, down 25-22. We'll talk to Chelsea Newton when we come back here on Verizon Fios One Sports. Scarlet Knights are hanging tough and still right there for a potential upset, trailing number 2 UConn by 3 as we get ready for the second half. Great to have you with us on Verizon Fios One Sports. This presentation of Rutgers women's basketball. Scarlet Knights and number 2 UConn here at the Rack in Piscataway, New Jersey. Ed Cohn and Christina Battistini with you. We'd like to welcome all our viewers on Verizon Fios One here in New Jersey, on Long Island, and in the nation's capital region. Special welcome to our viewers also in the Nutmeg State in Connecticut, watching on CPTV. Now, we know there's bad weather outside. We'll be sending many of our viewers to the Verizon Fios One newsroom for updates throughout our telecast here in the second half. And Christina, 20 minutes in the books. Rutgers shooting it at a decent clip. The big thing is they're spreading the ball out with 8 turnovers compared to 3 for the Huskies.
I think that jumps off the page to me. When you talk about turnovers and assists, UConn averages 20 assists per game, and right now they only have 3. And that's a direct correlation to the fact that they only have 25 points. They're not moving the ball as well as they normally do. The other thing that's really important to note is that UConn, the reason why they're still up by 3 points is that they've got 12 offensive rebounds compared to Rutgers 2.
Well, our keys to the game beforehand for UConn: avoid foul trouble and rebound. Dolson picking up 2 personals in the first half. And for Rutgers, rebound. And there's the second one. That's a big one.
I think Rutgers has done a good job of just staying with UConn's intensity and their flow. They've done a good job of maintaining the basketball. They haven't turned it over too much. UConn, on the other hand, excellent job rebounding the ball.
Well, if there's a way to start a half after a lackluster first 20 minutes for the Huskies, you put it in the hands of Maya Moore, and she delivers.
That's a very easy coaching strategy. Let's give the ball to Maya and have her shoot a 3 to open up the second half.
Rushden trying to answer quickly, and there's the 12th turnover for Rutgers. And this is where UConn can make it such a tough game for the opponent. Get ahead quickly. Hayes a bit off balance, still went up, and she draws the foul. She'll be at the line for a pair.
That's what great teams do. They're able to come out of the half, even though they didn't have a great first half. UConn comes out of the half, they hit a 3, they force a turnover, and they get themselves to the free throw line.
Third personal on Erica Wheeler. Hayes at 80%. UConn as a team 79% from the foul line, and she drains the first. Now, you can work on free throws, but your players have to work on them, and it's just the tale of a very good team. They're able to do everything well.
Free throws are such a hard part to integrate into a practice. There's so much to work on as a team. And you're right, free throws really have to happen independently before and after practice. And I think UConn has the players that are so dedicated that they're willing to do that.
First 5 points this half to the Huskies. And they've opened up their largest lead by 8. Tough shot for Sykes. Excellent defense there by Kelly Farris. UConn in the first half at 28%. season low in the first half this season. Hartley, open look, drains the second UConn three here in the first minute since halftime.
Just a simple high screen and roll. Hartley crosses over. She's got a window, and she drains the three. Perfect way to come out of the half by UConn. 5
points for Bria Hartley. And the Huskies have opened up a double-digit lead on the road here in Piscataway. Scarlet Knights looking to regroup here on Verizon Fios 1. Huskies off to an 8-0 run to start the half. Bria Hartley getting into the three-point mix. Maya Moore leading things off this half. And a big start for the Huskies to bump the lead up to 11.
Well, they came out of the half, went on an 8-0 run. You saw those two big threes. Tiffany Hayes went to the free throw line to go 2 for 2. And the flip side is the Rutgers offense, complete opposite. They've only taken one shot, and it was really forced by April Sykes. And Gina Oriema looks a little bit more content after going on that 8-0 run.
Still a man with a lot on his mind as he watches his team here in New Jersey.
He's always very pensive on the sideline.
Scarlet Knights, the last Big East team to beat UConn. That was on February 5th of 2008. A 2-point win here in New Jersey. Also the last team to beat UConn after trailing by double digits in the same game. Trying to accomplish the same feat right now, down 33-22. Lee. Bounce was right there, but it goes out of bounds, and the Scarlet Knights have turned it over now 13 times. They've only taken one shot here in the second half.
They've had 2 bad turnovers already in 90 seconds of play, and I like the rhythm of their last offense. Just a tough pass on that pick and roll.
Moore catch and shoot. She's got it. Maya Moore, 15 points, and she makes her 2 jumpers here in the second half.
It's almost automatic. Anytime she gets the ball at the high post area or the free throw line, you know that ball's going in.
Scarlet Knights came charging out of the gate. April Sykes, 11 first half points. Wheeler now inside, went right at Hartley, and the freshman says, not on me. Off the turnover. Hayes able to keep it away from Rushdan and allow UConn to reset. Got to keep an eye on Moore. Rushdan bounces into Wheeler, and out comes Rutgers. Chelsea Lee, 2 first half fouls. She's out there now, and she can't get the bounce. Amazing, Rutgers was able to stay so close in the first half without their star player out there, who came in with 3 straight double-doubles.
I mean, I thought the second she went to the bench that Rutgers offense was going to fall apart, but they showed a lot of depth. Another 3 by UConn. 3 for 4 in opening the second half.
Huskies have opened it up and opened it up quickly. 16-point lead. It was just 3 points 3 minutes ago. 13-0 run to begin this half. Timeout, C. Vivian Stringer. She called one earlier to slow the initial 8-0 run, and she calls another one to set up offensively, and she can't be happy with the way her team has come out here in the second half.
I'm not so sure if it's Rutgers who isn't playing well right now, or if it's UConn that completely switched up their intensity coming out of the half.
Well, we mentioned the last time that UConn lost the Big East game. 2008, there's Epiphany Prince and the Scarlet Knights against the Huskies. Able to hold on by a 73-71 score. Dynamite performance by Epiphany Prince. At the time, a sophomore. UConn in their last meeting here was able to win it in 2009. But Rutgers, with such a big win that season, they lost up in Hartford. But then it was UConn who came back in the Elite Eight and was able to win it over Rutgers to get to the Final Four. They got hot from long range in that one. Mattia Ajavon and Epiphany Prince helping the Scarlet Knights to the 2-point win.
Well, we said it earlier, there's so much history between these two programs, and I think when you battle so hard against each other that many years, I actually think it helped Rutgers because they've had so much success versus UConn. They play with confidence every single time. They play tough, they play gritty, not afraid to bang and be physical against them.
Offensive rebounding was something we talked about in the first half. UConn with 12 offensive boards before halftime. And they have a new possession here after another carry. Scarlet Knights forced the turnover out of Dolson's hands. Rushdan wide open. She'll fire for three. Maya Moore there for the rebound, and Hartley leads him in transition. Rhea Hartley blowing past Sykes. Dolson on the follow, puts it in.
I love the hustle by Stephanie Dolson. Now, they got honored today at shoot-around when they were running transition drills. They say, hey, if she misses that layup, you need to be there to scoop it up. And Dolson took it to heart. Rhea Hartley missed the layup, and she was right there for the putback.
15-2 UConn run to start this half, and they force another Rutgers giveaway. Hartley right down Broadway, collects and puts it in.
That was an amazing go dribble. Her last dribble to the basket, she threw it out there, split two defenders, and that's how she was able to get to the rim.
5 points for Bria Hartley this half, and talking to Chris Daly, UConn's top assistant, she said, she's the kind of player as a freshman, I'm never worried when it's in her hands. I think she's going to make the next shot. Well, you could say that about April Sykes as well. They needed that.
They really did, and they got away from her in the first half. She had a string of possessions where she was hitting from the outside, and then it's like she stopped getting the basketball.
Moore gets it away so quickly.
Yeah, I think they've got to get the ball to April Sykes on the offensive end, this Rutgers team.
Scarlet Knights down 15 points. The Huskies, a big start to this second half. We go to the newsroom now for a weather update with Megan Vega and John Heyman. Always a good time in Piscataway. 365, 24/7, Rutgers basketball all the time. Scarlet Knights down 15 points. Time to enroll in the Verizon Share the Network program. And you and every person you refer to Verizon can get up to $50 apiece, so everybody wins. Earn up to $600 in rewards a year. Earn reward cards good at hundreds of top-name retailers where American Express cards are welcome. Enroll today at sharethenetwork.com/7. And Christina, what a start for UConn this half.
They've been amazing out of the gates, and I think a lot of that is coaching, and I think a lot of that having kids that believe in themselves and they stay tough and they don't lose their confidence. They didn't play great, but they came out of the half. They made shots, they made stops, they forced Rutgers into bad possessions. You couldn't ask for anything more out of the half.
Oliver offensive board, offensive putback for the sophomore.
That's what Rutgers has to do. They've got to chip away and close this gap, and they can start doing it by getting to that offensive glass.
First, second chance points for RU thus far.
Oh.
Moore able to time it. Oliver couldn't time it. And Monique Oliver, the native of Las Vegas, picks up her second foul.
Yeah, Maya Moore is just so smart on the offensive end. She saw that the defense was trailing her, used a little pump fake, and literally was flattened by the defense. And you see UConn 17 points in the second half to Rutgers 7. And you look at those 7 points and you wonder why, but it's hard to score when you don't have the basketball. Rutgers has turned it over, and UConn has had possession most of the second half.
Mo Oliver inside does it again. 2 blocks in the first half. She'll try the long jumper, and maybe a bit too far out of her range.
Well, she can make a 15 to 17 footer, but you're right. Stepping out to 3 might be a little bit outside her repertoire.
Oliver, ball fake, quick release. Dolson, instead of going right back up, will pull it out for Hartley, and they reset. Khadijah Rushdan for Rutgers has been forced into taking a lot of open shots. They've let her stay open. She's 0 for 8 from the field. Let's see what Rutgers can do here after the excellent defense on Maya Moore. Even as Rutgers had numbers, the transition D for UConn, so quick to get back. See Vivian Stringer looks on, the Hall of Famer, watching her team right here.
Just active defense by Bria Hartley, getting in between the 2 Rutgers offensive players. They're relentless defensively, this UConn team.
See Vivian Stringer, first coach, men's or women's, to take 3 schools to the Final Four. Wheeler saved it to Lee. Only 2 to shoot, though, and they're not going to get a shot off. Wheeler did a nice job to hustle and keep it in bounds, but not enough time for Lee to set something up.
I think the biggest difference in the second half, you obviously look at the points, and you see that UConn scored 17, but their defense has made the difference. They have stopped any Rutgers offensive flow.
Chelsea Lee bleeding, and you can see it on the jersey. In this situation, you have to come out and perhaps get a new jersey on. She's number 52, and you look at it right there. She's wearing 52 in honor of Eric LeGrand, a Rutgers football player who was paralyzed in a game in October against Army. Chelsea and Eric, good friends. She wore number 34 from 6th grade through the injury to Eric LeGrand, and she's doing it now in honor of her friend.
It's such a special thing to do.
Stephanie Dolson converts. 7 points now for the freshman, and UConn's bumped the lead back up to 15 points.
Dolson has been solid, and she comes into this game averaging almost 8 points. She never forces anything and finishes all of the shots she's supposed to around the basket.
Sykes couldn't finish. April Sykes, strong start in the first half. Struggling a bit here in the second half. Oh, Oliver denies more at first, but hardly. She'll take the loose change and fire away from 3.
This has been an incredible second half for the UConn Huskies. Even when things aren't going their way, they manage to make something out of it. Maya Moore almost turns it over on the entry pass down low. Somehow Bria Hartley ends up with an open 3.
Largest lead for UConn right now with 8 minutes gone by since halftime. Brianna Hutchin fires. That's off the mark. Well defended by Maya Moore. Brianna Hutchin chose Rutgers because she wanted to play for C. Vivian Stringer. Saw some valuable minutes in the first half. Hutchin playing 12 minutes and hitting 2 shots. Moore, Dolson, knocked out of her hands by Rushka and out of bounds, and UConn's going to hold on. Huskies led by 3 at halftime. They've outscored Rutgers by 15 here in the second half. And they're in command on the road here in Piscataway. Bria Hartley and UConn, they've won the last 5 meetings and in control here in New Jersey. We welcome you back to Piscataway, New Jersey here on Verizon Fios 1. Scarlet Knights trail the UConn Huskies 47-29. UConn 8 of 15 to start the second half. Rutgers 3 for 11. Who's number 5? It used to be Essence Carson. For tonight at least, it'll be Chelsea Lee, who was nicked up earlier. You can see the eye bandage. Got blood on her number 52. And she'll have to don the number 5 jersey. She was wearing number 52 for her great friend Eric LeGrand. Rutgers has rallied behind the player who was paralyzed in the game against Army in October. The Eric Grand Believe Fund. It's an amazing word, Christina, if you can all just believe, and that's what they're doing here at Rutgers for Eric LeGrand.
It's such a special thing to do for anyone, and it sounds, wearing somebody's number, it's a special thing for players because your jersey number is so significant, and I think it's a wonderful thing that she's doing to support him.
April Sykes. She used to wear number 12, switched to number 24 when Maya McCurdy graduated. Oh, good look. Hartley wants it. Ferris had it, and then jarred loose, and Brianna Hutchin able to collect for Rutgers.
But that last UConn possession, you saw the passing and the quickness that they passed the ball. That's when they're in their offensive flow, and you haven't seen it most of this game. And the second half stats reflect UConn's passing the basketball much better than 9 of 17 from the floor.
Rush down to Oliver. Khadijah is so good at bouncing that pass in there, and you won't find players with better hands than Monique Oliver.
She is very good underneath, and that's a skill set that most people don't realize. Post players, you want to talk about their ability to make shots, but if they can catch it, that's the first thing. And then on the flip side, you got Bria Hartley. She's unconscious in the second half, knocking down almost every single outside shot she's taken. And what she's doing a better job of with those outside shots, she's getting underneath it. She's getting some nice arc under the ball. The times when she misses, her shot is very flat.
Harley was 1 of 8 in the first half. She's hit 4 shots here in the second in 6 attempts. Well, go to your star. That's what Rutgers does. Monique Oliver with 12 points. Came in averaging 18 points in the first 5 games in January. All Rutgers wins.
That's a great setup by Khadijah Rushdin, just getting to the lane. 3 UConn defenders helped out and left Oliver underneath.
Kelly Farris wide open after Moore drew the double. Brianna Hutchin. She's someone who entered play having averaged 6 minutes. Played 12 minutes in the first half alone and providing some great energy off the bench for Rutgers.
She really has done a super job, and I was just going to comment on the Rutgers defense. They were so on point in the first half in that matchup zone, but they've seemed to tire in the second half, and UConn is able to move the ball so much easier.
Second chance for Rushdin. Hutchin, 3rd opportunity. Runs right into Maya Moore, and that's never easy.
The coach in me is going to say if you went up with the left hand, they would have finished those 3 shots.
Farris, halfway down, Sykes able to collect. And listen to this crowd. Their team's down 19 here at the rack and still cheering on as the Scarlet Knights putting forth a strong effort, especially in the first half.
They really have, and they're just trying to stick with it. They lead and spread out, and you can just see the difference in their intensity. Everything they try, they just can't catch a break in the second half.
Harley the trailer. Harley to the foul line. So she's spotted up here in the second half. Been very effective from the outside and showing there her quickness to get to the basket.
She's made so many good decisions in this game, and you see her here catch the ball and just slash to the basket. She sees that there are 2 Rutgers defenders waiting, but they don't have position to stop her forward momentum to the hoop, and she goes right up with a power move, and just a great decision in transition.
Rhea Harley, a 2-time Player of the Year in New York State. Chelsea Lee comes back in. Deja Simmons and Mo Oliver will exit as Wheeler subs back in for Rutgers as well. Rhea Harley's task has been even greater with the injury to Caroline Doty before the season, a redshirt junior guard who really is the soul of this UConn team. And she'll have 2 more years of eligibility left, but a lot of knee injuries over the years for Caroline Doty.
She was amazing during shoot-around today. Now, obviously, she's recovering from a knee injury. She had the surgery in early September, so it's only basically 4.5 months after the surgery, and she's in great shape, running stadiums nonstop.
Lee will have a chance at the free throw line. Talk more about Rhea Harley and Caroline Doty when we come back to Piscataway. UConn up by 21. For our viewers in New Jersey and Long Island, we send you to the newsroom for a weather update with Megan and John. UConn's won 96 of 97 games. They've won 5 in a row against Rutgers. Think about this. Their senior class is 132-3. The losses, 2 to Stanford, 1 here at the rack, but just 3 losses for 1 class in 4 years of school. Christina, that's almost unthinkable.
It is unthinkable. And, you know, a lot of times when people talk about playing sports or playing basketball, one of the great life lessons is learning how to deal with adversity and losses. And you come to UConn and you never learn that because you never lose.
There's Rhea Harley, who we talked about before the break, and the role she has stepped in this season.
She's done a phenomenal job, and it's like she grows every single game. She actually had a stretch this year of 3 games where she didn't even have 1 assist, not 1 assist in 3 games against University of San Francisco, Sacred Heart, and Marquette. And you would never guess that the player you see today is a player that was able to play so poorly over 3 straight games. And she is going to be the future of this UConn team out of the point guard position.
Rutgers in their 3-quarter court press. Almost a steal for Hutchin, and she knew it, but got a piece of Lauren Dixon. And the freshman from Baltimore, Brianna Hutchin, nicknamed Breezy, is called for the personal foul.
Still, I mean, even though Rutgers came up with that defensive foul, I liked their intensity That's their only option right now with 7:43 in this game. They've got to get back into this game. They've got to do it with their defense. They've got to force turnovers, and they've got to get UConn out of their offensive rhythm. Right now, UConn looks way too comfortable on the offensive end.
Tiffany Hayes, corner attempt. Tiffany Hayes has been dynamite here in the second half from 3. 3 3-pointers, gives her 15 for the game.
What was interesting about that possession is that Stephanie Dolson was wide open at the high post. She had her shot, but Hayes was calling for it in the corner, and the freshman delivered a beautiful pass for her to knock down another 3.
UConn 6 of 9 from 3 in the second half alone. Averaging 35% this season from 3. Sykes, a dynamite 3-point shooter. And while she got off to a red-hot start, the shots haven't been falling here in the second half.
Yeah, she wants the foul on that last shot. Just a real tough shot. You see Bria Hartley, the freshman, last week, Big East freshman of the week, averaging 12 points and 6 assists. She had 8 assists in their win against University of North Carolina. So she's really learned how to distribute the ball out of the point guard position.
Dixon a bit out of control, gives it up to Wheeler. Wheeler, good look to Rushdan. I don't know if Khadijah Rushdan was expecting it. Sometimes those quick ones jump up on you.
Yeah, she didn't have sight of the ball as she was running her lane to the rim and just was surprised when it got to her.
Khadijah Rushdan described Erica Wheeler as the spark of this team before the season. And now both of those players working in the backcourt for Rutgers. 23-point lead for the Huskies. Largest of the ball game here today. Good pass, Lita Wheeler. Won't get the bounce, and Maya Moore with a double-double already, 15 points. That was her 12th rebound.
She gets herself in great position. It always looks like she's on the weak side block. And that shot was taken from the wing. She was on the left side block, ready for that rebound.
It's amazing. The best player in the country still finds ways to disguise what she does best. Hayes, another open look. Chelsea Lee, wearing number 5, normally 52, rips down the rebound. Contact, no foul. Hutchin keeps the ball alive for RU, and Sykes looking for 3. She'll have 3 attempts at the free throw line.
Sykes is a woman on a mission right now on the offensive end. Every single time she's caught the ball, the last 3 possessions, she is trying to score, whether she's got single coverage or driving into double and triple teams. And on that last possession, it was almost an offensive foul when she drove it to the rim, spin back, literally sent Bria Hartley and Maya Moore flying, no call, and then continues to try to score it, enforcing that 3 from the corner. This time she does get to the free throw line.
74% free throw shooter. Doesn't get to the line all that much for someone who scores as much as she does. April Sykes now 14 for 20 at the line after missing the first.
That is really surprising because she's extremely aggressive with the ball in her hands, but you might be able to explain the lack of free throws in that she doesn't necessarily take the ball to the rim. She's more of an outside shooter, step back, kind of ball fake type of player. She's not to put the ball on the floor and try to beat it to the basket.
Sykes scoring a career-high 32 at Boston College back on December 12th. Scarlet Knights falling there, and Sykes' free throw falling short. She's 0 for 3 on that trip. Remains with 16 points. How's this for balance? UConn has 15 each from Hayes, Hartley, and Moore.
It's a coach's dream. You never want one player scoring all the points. And when you have 3 at 15 defensively, how hard is that for Rutgers? You can't focus on one player. You've got to spread out your defense.
I mean, that's what this team has learned to do. They don't have Tina Charles. They don't have Renee Montgomery. Kalena Green graduated. So it's a matter of who steps up beyond Maya Moore, and they're still finding the solution.
Well, they average 20 assists per game, which is an unbelievable amount of assists for any team to average. And the coaching staff of UConn, they've said it so many times. We can't be a one-pass-and-shoot team. We've got to move the basketball. We've got to be patient. And I think that's what UConn has learned to do. And, you know, individual efforts by Tiffany Hayes doesn't hurt.
She could do it all, right?
When you can drive baseline and, you know, finish over 2 Rutgers defenders, you know, I'm sure the coaching staff would accept a move like that once in a while.
Hayes scored a 1,000 point in a win against North Carolina, January 17th. Excellent defense, forcing another turnover. Kelly Farris, she'll lead Dixon, and Dixon, the senior, will bring it back out. Hayes going to the basket this time. Hard foul inside with Hayes flying to the hardwood. She'll get back up, went up against Mo Oliver and Chelsea Lee, and that is not an easy task.
And she's able to get to the rim so easily because she's made a lot of outside shots. So she ball fakes. The defense has to respect that ball fake. They leave her feet. And she goes to the basket with a lot of conviction on that play and splits the defenders and just happens to get hit in midair. And when you got a 35-inch vertical leap and you get hit in midair, you're going to go down pretty hard.
Heather Buck comes back in for UConn. And out goes Stephanie Dolson. An effective second half, playing with 2 personals. Tiffany Hayes at the line, played AAU ball with Chelsea Lee, April Sykes, and Erica Wheeler of Rutgers. So they all know each other all too well. Lee running the floor, left hand, counted in the foul.
That's a beautiful play. We talked about it in the beginning of this game, how well Chelsea Lee and Monique Oliver run the court for post players. And you see her there just trailing the play, coming right down the middle, catches it in stride, and able to sky to the basket with her left hand. That's a great play. If you think about a 6'2" forward center making a play like that, just so athletic.
Chelsea Lee with 3 straight double-doubles coming in. 10 points, 11 rebounds at Syracuse. Really a breakout win for Rutgers. Kind of cemented their status as a team to watch out for in the Big East. Followed that up with 15 and 10 at Cincinnati. 15 points, 11 rebounds against Providence. Last home game here on January 22nd. Lauren Dixon played high school ball with Tina Charles. Farris to Buck. Moore. Another opportunity, and she uses the window extremely well.
Nobody uses the backboard from straight up. And that's another example of her being in the perfect place for. Heather Buck missed the shot, and she anticipated where the carom was going, and she puts herself right there, catches it, and goes off the glass because it's a safer shot for her at 7 feet, spot on.
At some point, there's going to have to be a law with accolades against Maya Moore because there are just so many of them. I don't know when we're going to run out.
You can't, if you started a game and you talked about all the accolades, you probably get to halftime.
Man, unbelievable. Be a long time. UConn in command, on the verge of winning their 58th straight Big East game. 62-36 the score here over Rutgers from Piscataway. Back with more in a moment on Verizon Fios One Sports. Great to have you with us here in Piscataway on Verizon Fios One. Our presentation of Rutgers women's basketball. Scarlet Knights trailing Gino Oriema's #2 Huskies 62-36. I'm Ed Cohen with the former Stanford standout Christina Battistina here on Verizon Fios One in New Jersey, Long Island, and the nation's capital region, and also welcoming our viewers in Connecticut on CPTV. Want to help your school or any 501c nonprofit raise funds easily with no direct selling? Enroll them in the Verizon Velocity fundraising program, and Verizon will make donations when supporters order new qualifying Verizon products. Nonprofits can receive up to $65 for every new Verizon Triple Play order, which can add up fast. To learn more, visit www.verizon.com/velocity. Scarlet Knights will get ready for a tough 2-game road trip after this one, Christina, at Louisville and at St. John's, and still 3 minutes to go here against UConn. Ultimately, what are they going to take away from this game, and namely what they did in the first half?
I think that they have to focus on the positive things they did in the first half. A lot of the second half came down to great execution defensively and offensively by UConn, and I also think that Rutgers got a little tired and fatigued. But their first half was sensational. They played great defense, they made tough shots, and they were able to take UConn out of their offensive rhythm And nobody does that. There are very few teams that have been able to accomplish that. So I think they need to focus on that and then figure out a way to go back-to-back with halves. It's a long season. They're going to see UConn again. And if they can put together 40 minutes of what they did in the first half, they've got a lot to look forward to.
Simply a stellar night for Maya Moore. 17 points and 16 rebounds. How about this? The 16 boards. A team season high for UConn in a season in which they've been pretty damn good.
They've been excellent. They average 15 more rebounds than their opponents. So they've consistently rebounded the ball well.
UConn staff said they expected Rutgers to pressure, and we haven't seen it much tonight, but we're seeing it now, and they're working on it against a great team in UConn.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. They pressed a little bit against Providence College. They showed that traditional 55 full-court man-to-man press. But they are handicapped with their numbers. If you're only playing 6 or 7 kids, you can't press and play up-tempo the entire game. But I think Rutgers they're doing a couple things. One, they're not going to let UConn off the hook easy. They're going to play all 40 minutes of this game. And two, it's always a good time to work on your press.
Yeah. Sykes is getting hot. She's got 20 on 8 of 16 shooting tonight. See Vivian Stringer with that look. She wants her team now to execute, even down 21 points. And going back to the last game here between these two schools, Rutgers lost by 10. They played very well down the stretch, got 24 points from Kia Vaughn, and that was in a losing effort. Have you heard of the new Visual 411 widget? It's a free search app on Fios TV that provides you with the name, address, and phone number of the business you're looking for. You can even use the Verizon Navigator to get directions. You can access the widget by clicking on the widget button on your Verizon Fios TV remote control and scrolling down and selecting the V411 application. Chris Daly is the UConn assistant. She said to us, it's never easy coming into this building and playing when you wear a UConn jersey.
She's absolutely right because of all the history with the two programs, but I don't think it's ever easy wearing a UConn jersey into any building. And you see Gino Auriemma finally cracks a smile. He's been pretty intense all game, but I think at this point with under 2 minutes to go, he can actually relax a little bit with his team up by 21.
Gino Auriemma, 30-plus wins in 15 of the last 17 seasons. There's consistency, and then there's that mark. Chelsea Lee gets the shooter's bounce. Chelsea Lee. 5 points for Lee, and she's the one to guard at the top of the 55 press. Lauren Dixon, though, she's a senior, and she's gone up against that press numerous times in her career.
Yes, she has, and she just saw the opportunity, caught the ball, ripped it through, and was able to dribble her way over half court to set up the UConn offense.
Final 70 seconds in Piscataway. Lauren Anglin for UConn feeds Ferris, finds Buck down low, and Lee denies her.
Nice
Chelsea
pass.
Lee not giving up.
Nice pass by Ferris to Heather Buck. And Chelsea Lee only averaging 1 block per game, but she was all over that basketball, had a good sense of where Heather Buck wanted to release it from and just sent it back.
You don't always hear this kind of applause when your team's down 19 with 61 seconds left. But the crowd loves the effort tonight from the Scarlet Knights. Down 3 at the half, hanging tough with UConn. Numerous points of this ball game. Huskies able to impose their will out of the halftime locker room. And now Rutgers has 2 walk-ons on the court who always inspire cheers from this crowd. Number 10, Brittany Lapidus, a lifelong fan, former manager and ball girl. And number 30, Jamie Tucker, who just joined the team before the game against Providence on Saturday.
Well, I think the reaction to the crowd just shows respect. It shows respect for the effort that the Rutgers team put forth tonight. Anytime you make UConn work the way they made them work is, you know, obviously like a huge accomplishment. And then it shows respect for the walk-ons. I think they understand what these girls do on a daily basis in order to earn a spot in this Rutgers program.
Brittany Lapidus guarding the inbounds now. She hit a shot at the buzzer December 15th against Kane that nearly brought the roof off this place. Manager last year, they needed a 10th player on the roster. He had 5-on-5 in practice. He stepped right up and now living a dream playing in that uniform. Good look inside. Michaela Johnson unable to finish, and Chelsea Lee holds on to it for Rutgers. Final 40 seconds. Scarlet Knights putting up a great effort tonight. UConn's going to escape with their 19th win in 20 games this season. And an 8-0 start in Big East play.
This will be UConn's 58th straight Big East victory. Not getting any easier for them this season, though.
Jamie Tucker fouled going to the spot, and she'll be at the line for two. Junior from North Brunswick. She walked into the gym today with a look in her face after playing her first game against Providence Saturday, saying, I might have a shot to go against UConn. And now here she is.
It's got to be a thrill. And I'm sitting watching these girls warm up before the game. And I haven't played in a college game in over a decade. And I'm going, what? How exciting it is just to be involved in this game at any level, whether you're a walk-on or you play 40 minutes a game.
Ferris will dribble off the final seconds. Huskies brave in the snow, making the trip down to New Jersey. They'll come away with a 19-point win, 63-44. Gino Auriema's club keeps it going. Scarlet Knights can take something away from this game, though, that's for sure.
I think they've got to be real pleased with how they played in the first half, but they've got to find a way to stretch that 20 minutes out into a complete game.
UConn now 57-5 as the #2 team in the country. Scarlet Knights fall for the first time in 9 home games here at the Lewis Brown Athletic Center. UConn 63, Rutgers 44. More to come on Verizon Fios One Sports. Wins it over Rutgers tonight, 63-44. Behind a double-double from their senior, Maya Moore, who joins us now. And Maya, Ed Cohen and Christina Battistini with you. Second half, you guys explode out of the gate. What was the key against the Scarlet Knights after halftime?
Offensively, I think we were rushing. We weren't making very good decisions. But, you know, after halftime, we knew what we needed to do. We didn't really change anything. We just knocked in shots. We were more patient. We shot the ball with confidence, and our guards did a great job of knocking them in.
Now, Maya, in the first half, it looked like your team really struggled against that matchup 2-3 zone that Rutgers presented. How did you end up figuring that out?
Not turning the ball over. It was pretty simple. Just not forcing it into the post. Just making smart decisions, finding the gaps, penetrating, kicking, being aggressive. And, you know, the shots started to fall second half. I think we were just more aggressive and made some better decisions all around in the second half.
First half, Maya, was a tough go in terms of shooting, 28%. But what kept you guys in it was your offensive rebounding. You guys had a lot of opportunities in that first half.
Well, you know, if we're going to miss shots, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to offensive rebound, and that's something that we have to do. You know, if our shots aren't falling, you have to crash the boards, and out of that zone, it's sometimes tough to get rebounds defensively for Rutgers, so we just tried to crash. And I know one series there was about 4 offensive rebounds, and those are the kind of things that spark you and get you going on the offensive end.
The thing I notice most when I watch UConn play is how well you pass the basketball. Your team averages 20 assists per game, and you could really see that in the second half. Was that something the coaches talked about or addressed at the halftime? Continue to move the basketball and move without the ball?
Yes and no. I mean, it's something we always try to do. It's not, you know, it's not a new concept for us. We're generally an unselfish team, and I think as far as moving without the ball is probably the thing that the coaches stress more coming out of halftime. And, you know, I think we always move the ball pretty well, and once we just set our minds back on that and cut hard and continue to move without the ball, it made it tougher on Rutgers defense.
Maya, thanks so much, and all the best the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That is Maya Moore, the UConn senior. Double-double tonight. What a performance. And the Huskies really charging out of the gate in the second half, opening things up on a 13-0 run.
Well, I think that's a sign of a great team. When you underperform in the first half and you're able to regroup out of halftime and make the adjustments that your coaching staff has asked you to make. And they came out of half and they look like a different squad. Yep. They did everything right. And that's why they're so good. That's why they win so many games.
Scarlet Knights next up against Louisville and then at St. John's. So 2 road games against 2 tough schools. What does Rutgers take away from this game?
I think Rutgers takes away a lot of confidence in their first half defense. I think they take away confidence in terms of being able to score the ball early and run it. And I think they also need to learn, maybe this isn't a confidence point, but they need to learn their post players cannot get into foul trouble because it does disrupt their rhythm. They got lucky tonight, but I think in the future, that front court needs to be in the game for them.
UConn wins it here in Piscataway 63-44. The Huskies have won 6 straight meetings against the Scarlet Knights and make it 58 consecutive Big East wins. That'll do it here from the rack in Piscataway. UConn 63, Rutgers 44. Join us again 1 month from today on Saturday, February 26th at 2 o'clock when the Scarlet Knights host the Mountaineers of West Virginia. For Christina Battistini and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. Thanks for watching the Verizon Fios One Sports presentation of Rutgers women's basketball.
This has been a special presentation of Verizon Fios One Sports.